It is Sunday, October the 2nd, 2011. I have a face, believe it or not, after the first 3 YouTube videos we made. Here is the 4th one, and there's a lot to say. Limited amount of time. I don't want to go over because we had an issue with that before. Like Frosty the Snowman said, I'll say goodbye, but don't you cry, I'll be back again someday. Here I am, to my good friends at Comcast, the biggest con going today for what they put me through. A lot to talk about, even some pictures. I have a little show and tell in a minute. Well, let's talk about the negative news, the bad news. See, I'm not using my glasses. I'm as blind as a bat. But considering I am one of Comcast's most eligible bachelors right now with no income and no health insurance and being physically disabled, I have to try and pick up as many women as possible. But it's well known, if you've read Facebook.com/Disabled American, April 26th of this year, I went out on short-term disability for the second time. I was set to return on August 15th. Part-time duty to try and get myself back into the thick of things. I was excited about it. But the strange thing was, on August 11th, on my home personal email account, not my work account, my home address, I received an email from the site director saying she wanted to, quote-unquote, would like to chat with me on my home email address, okay? Had a lot going on, and to be honest, I didn't want to talk to any of these people on my own personal time, on my own personal computer from home. I was coming back that Monday. It very easily could have been set up before I started work that day, however they wanted to go about it. But they said, we couldn't find your doctor's report. There's no release, which I knew was a lie because I was with my doctor when he wrote the release a few weeks earlier. As usual, another con from a place that's known for it. But nonetheless, that Monday, August the 15th, I had a 90-second conversation with my site director, Barbara, HR manager, Carmen, and as a result of violating the code of conduct, I was terminated effective September 1st, with my health insurance taken away October 1st. Kick below the belt, to say the least. Barbara was a woman that sat at my desk, pounding her little fist, saying, Dan, honey, we're going to get you better. We're going to get you better. Well, considering that I am far worse off than I am in 2008, you didn't do a very good job. And Barbara, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you probably will, or at least get the Cliff Notes version, you know I think very highly of you as a human being. But in this particular instance, it was a complete and utter failure, with all due respect to you. Let's talk about why. The code of conduct really sticks out to me. I am big on dotting the I's, crossing the T's, so to speak. Back in 2008, when I first hit the floor, quote-unquote, I was asked to sign something stating that I had received the information about the policies in the company and so on and so forth, but I was never given a hard copy of it. My supervisor at the time, one of the true great men of the company that they let go, requested one from HR from another useless individual, Beth. For months this went on before they finally said, well, we don't have hard copies anymore. They're all online. I didn't know how to use it. No one ever showed me how to use it. It basically became a dead issue until a few months ago before I went out on leave. And my manager, good old Craig A., forced me to, I don't remember if I signed something or if he did one of those electronic signature gimmicks, but just basically something that said I acknowledged that I knew how to use it, knew how to find it, blah, 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 when I didn't. So to any employee still at Comcast, you could be being taken advantage of every day. There is no updates. They don't tell you when they change policy. They can add, delete anything at any time without you even knowing it with this supposed online handbook. That's my problem with it. Are you trying to tell me in 3 years there hasn't been one change made to the employee handbook? Complete and utter BS. They know it. I know it. I hope you know it too. If you don't know it, now you do. Let me continue again as I try to read this blindly. So the biggest problem is there's no voice in Comcast. They'll bring in for one of their, what I call a group-on meeting, 4-on-1, 3-on-1. You have no one to help you out, to be by your side, because there's no union. We'll get into that. So, they gang up on you, force you to do what they want, or they make your life miserable and or fire you, or you're in the situation I am. If you are unfamiliar with my situation, I was injured on a poorly installed broken yellow speed bump that they have since replaced due to all my complaining. Those yellow ones that had the nuts and bolts that popped up and rolled all over the place as the seasons went on. I was hospitalized May 21st of '08 as an act of goodwill to try and show I was a good employee. I returned to work on May 22nd of '08 on my crutches. And then I was back in the ER again May 23rd of '08 because my left foot, my good one, went out. Now, when I came to Comcast, I make no bones about it. I was a physically disabled individual. But at the same time, I had a neck problem. I had a back problem in my upper back right into my shoulder blades. I had a bad right foot. I wore a RoboCop boot. But I had no issues with my lower back and my left foot, which have become huge, huge, huge points of contention. So there, after a while, we realized that there was a gigantic HR screw-up. I'll be nice language-wise here. Eventually, we met with the human resources manager, who's no longer with the company, Maura McDonough, and she admitted in a group meeting, that there was an accident. We're not denying that. There was an injury. We're not denying that. There was just a miscommunication. What this woman did like an imbecile on June 1st, 2008, was tell Liberty Mutual that I was fine. I was back to work. I didn't need any further medical attention, which was the furthest thing from the truth. But she didn't speak to me. She didn't speak to my supervisor. She didn't speak to my manager. Liberty Mutual claims, oh, well, we called. We sent letters. Well, where are the letters? You're supposed to send them via certified mail via the state. It's a law. Where are even the copies of the letters that are dated, that say something? Phone calls. You claim you called so many times. What were the dates? What were the times? Liberty Mutual provided nothing. Nothing. And I'll say this. The day it happened, my immediate leadership at Comcast, some of which with now I have issues, they helped me out big time. Craig, manager, let me use his office. He called for about 2 weeks. I called for about 2 weeks. This scumbag from Liberty Mutual, Jonelle McDaniel, ran like a dog because she knew she was in a bad spot too. And you know what? Shame on you for being a human being. I wouldn't even be in this predicament if it was not for the shithole they call a parking lot at 300 Commercial Street. So let's continue. World War III began at Liberty Mutual. I'll get into that later. As my health began to decline, I went out on STD 2 years in a row. Last year, I was out for about 2 months. This year, I was out from April 22nd until they fired me. I'm really running out of time, and I had a lot over here. I want to show the pictures of the medication, as I think this really highlights it more than anything. When I came to Comcast, I had plateaued. I went through a rehab program at Spalding that went on for nearly 7 months, 3 days a week, right there. 5 pain pills, 1 Valium muscle relaxer. Now, take a look at the plethora of shit I have to take every day because I have 2 torn, leaking, dead black discs in my back, where I'm told now after another trip to the ER this past week, this past Tuesday, which would have been the 27th, I was shot up with something called Dilaudid or something like that, which is akin to heroin, along with an anti-inflammatory. Look at that. 11 pain pills, 3 Valium, up to 9 pills for nerve damage, anti-inflammatories, and 2 Red Bulls just to be able to wake up and get through the day. Is that what I should be taking after I reached a plateau in 2008? You draw the conclusion for yourself. I don't want this to go out of time, so check out the website, check out the email. Talk to you soon.